Now, why is Lionsgate so important this year? What makes it so special? Well, let's start with that. This is a 9-year we're in. So every day, month combination, the 8th month, the 8th day, for example, will add up to a 16, which reduces to a 7. Now, if you add the year number in, so it is 8 plus 8 plus 9, you get 25, which again reduces to a 7. So what I mean is the base frequency of every day is more pure this year in a 9-year. So the 8 will come out stronger. And yes, it is the 16, which is the tower in the tarot, which reduces to the 7, which is the chariot. So there is some feisty energy in this frequency of the 16 and the 7, you could say. Also, it is both the okay, yes, let's leave it at that for numerology. I guess I could go deeper, but I have so many other things I want to say. Though you might have seen or not, since that huge earthquake, which was an 8.8. Wow. I guess that needed a little bit of special applause. An 8.8 earthquake. It was first only measured at 8.0 and was upgraded, which is rare. Most earthquakes start higher and are downgraded. So that in itself was interesting as a detail. So an 8.8 quake on July 29th, the biggest earthquake in 15 years since 2011, when we had that Fukushima catastrophe. Anyway, 500 plus earthquakes we see per week since the 8th, that 8.8 on July 29th. Usually, for the beginning, I mean, I have been watching USGS pretty much every day. I'm just curious because I am expecting bigger seismic movements still to come. I don't think we have reached the end of that yet. So anyway, I've been watching USGS, and the weekly average has been around 100, 130, and now we are in the 500 per week. That is bigger than 4.5 magnitude quakes worldwide. So you see, yes, most of them are actually still in that region of Kamchatka Peninsula, which is just north of Japan if you look at the world map. So Japan is definitely in that zone of tectonic shifts and movements. And we wish these people the best, that this will not turn into something more dramatic. Up to now, all these larger quakes actually were exceptionally unharming, you could say, occurring in areas, in places where very, very low dense populations live, or even in the middle of oceans where nobody is, and the tsunami also was actually much less than expected, even though it was such a huge earthquake. But just saying, this is just one other sign, the 8.8 earthquake, as clear signal that we should pay special attention to this year's Lionsgate, high point of the season, really, of the year, as I showed in my other video. Now, yes, numerology is empowered this year. Then, okay, then gets this 2025. So we have the 25 of the year. And then if you add up again 8 plus 8 plus 9, you get the 25. So there's another synchronicity there which resonates that this year it's kind of like two amplitudes overlapping, and then the wife gets its amplitude grows. That's what it is when there are similar things along the same line. And then yes, the Mars-Saturn opposition, and this is when that is exact for Greenwich. Again, you can't make that stuff up. 056 is the zenith at this point over the globe at 0 degrees west, 0 degrees east. Saturn and Neptune here within half a minute of arc. Saturn got as close as 12 minutes of arc. Since they both move backward again, and naturally Saturn moves a bit faster because it's closer to Sun and Earth. So it separates from Neptune here, and then next year it will go forward again, and then yes, on February 20 will be the big day when a new cycle will start, so to say, a new 36-year cycle. But this whole time, with Saturn and Neptune being so close, this is really the time of making Neptune visible on all levels, giving it form, kind of throwing over this blanket over the ghost, and which makes its outlines to be seen. That's kind of the image I'm getting. And then we have Mars here opposing at the 4th house cusp, rattling that whole setup at its base. Interesting again, the 28th degree of Cancer rising, 28th degree of Capricorn. That is where Pluto is in the Declaration of Independence chart. I have said it before. Whenever that 28th degree of Capricorn or Cancer is activated, that speaks for some bigger events related to the United States. That power game is fueled, if you want. Pluto definitely is the most critical planet in that chart here, opposing not just the vertex point but also the part of fortune, and Mercury here applying. So it is really pushing so hard to become smarter, because this is really a power game between Pluto and Mercury. Who is faster? Who really is on top of the pie? Who is being overridden and played and deceived? So Mercury is seriously challenged in this chart, you could say here, by this applying opposition to Pluto. However, with the vertex point, which is really the higher dimensional direction, so we are meant really to grow through that challenge of having to deal with this power issue. Pluto, actually, we always get a bit of an idea of what the planet means when we go to the discovery time. What was actual then? That was 1930. That was actually just the beginning of the publication media, mass media, radio, newspapers, and then later, a little later on, television. All these mass media which were able to multiply one person's voice, make it so loud that it can overrule the whole country, like for example Hitler did. A perfect example too of mass influence. So Pluto has this strong connection to amplification of energy to the X and a degree, you could say. So when Pluto is activated here, yes, this is the global chart, so yes, it is really pointing that there's an enormous crescendo coming in the United States over the next months. Now, it was interesting that this was actually shared today here on Laura Aboli's page, and I found that extremely interesting, and I was expect this to manifest. So it says subpoenas or poenas just went out for several politicians, compelling them to testify in front of Congress, including the Clintons, Merrick Garland, James Comey, and more. Here you have the whole list and you have the exact date. So you see it spreads out into October till really the highlights come. He will kind of make the caboose, it seems. So it's a build-up, and naturally this will be gaining lots of attention. People will listen, and I'm guessing with the whole transparency that is going on right now, the call for transparency, everything is now asked to be presented to the public, even by the mainstream. I mean, yes, you can think of Mr. Donald Trump, what you want. He has some really brilliant moves aside from others which might certainly not be that brilliant, but that was one when he called Epstein and all of that a hoax. How did that sting like a hornet into the mainstream? All of a sudden everybody demanded transparency and release of information, and now the avalanche cannot be stopped anymore. It's all rolling in a direction. Again, one expression of that Saturn Neptune conjunction. Nothing can be hidden anymore. It's all becoming visible, and Mars really puts fire, demands, asks for direction change, literally here at these first degrees of cardinal signs. With the equatorial ascendant here in the first degree of Cancer, yes, this is a new beginning. We are seeing a new wind is has come in. A wind has changed its direction, you could say. So this is what we are seeing this year at this really outstanding year, 2025. This is yet another one which I shared at some point, but it's worth repeating, is a square number. You might not have known that. It's 45 times 45. This is rare. There's only few square numbers, as you probably know, if you know a little, if you remember a bit of mathematics, which you probably, it's one of the themes which are definitely part of the curriculum, the square numbers. 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 8 times 8, 64 hexagrams there are in the I Ching. Another one which relates to the Lionsgate. Anyway, this is just okay, there's more. Okay, bear with me. Now we're going to the Mayan calendar, which is also very special for this present time. So if we okay, where is it hiding? Here. Okay, so as we speak, the 8th of August is this guy here, 7 Kaban. It's red resonant earth. Now, as you can see, this is the center column. It's just a few more days to go. We're in the wave of Chuen, which is power of illusion, magic, play. It is probably the most light-hearted of the 20-day signs, and there is this balance within it, because it's in the center column. It's the only one day in the center column which is naturally a very balanced and but also very challenging time. This can be where everything comes together, where the past and the future literally meet, intersect. So every time, every 260 days, when we get into this phase, and right now it is during this high of summer of Lammas, the number 7 is again the same as the day's number, 8, 8, 16, 7. Resonant means something is naturally coming into synchronization with something else, with something bigger. It is that attunement, that adjustment, and the 7 is the most immaterial number, bringing the frequencies from the beyond, almost top of the pyramid. So then, yes, let me see if there's anything else which I still missed, because there's so many things about this Lionsgate. Yeah, I guess mostly shared what I had here prepared. It's always the one or other thought I wanted to add, but you get it. It's a super powerful time. Maybe a few more words regarding the astrology here of it, particularly this chart, that Mars-Saturn chart. A few hours before full moon here with Pallas, the one which helps to really see patterns. And yes, I guess that's the final one I wanted to quickly browse towards, is the full moon, which is a few hours following this Mars-Saturn opposition. This is for Philadelphia. Saturn Neptune here now on top of the chart with Mars at the bottom. We had the exact same configuration as you just as I just showed you here in this chart here. That's a few hours earlier in Greenwich. And then time passes, it's a few hours later, and exactly those degrees are pretty much overhead of Philadelphia at 5:55 a.m. now. Yeah, it's quite something. That repetition of degrees, which we often see between Greenwich and Washington or Philadelphia, the East Coast in general, which means there is a deep resonance there of what's happening in one place is manifesting in the other. What the foundation is laid in one place is taking form on the more visible level over Washington, or vice versa it can be. And then this is last but not least the full moon for Greenwich. And here what stands out again is Nessus, which we have been dealing with quite intensely already. It's about all the pathological expressions of humanity, and I did a little bit of a brainstorm what that all can mean: contaminated, stained, abused, noxious, depraved, corrupt, sick, morbid, cruel, distorted, poisonous, perverted. All of that is represented by Nessus, and Nessus has been at the North Node, still is at the North Node, so yes, it's quite a plate of stuff to be worked through as a collective right now in this dimension, and getting really more intense as we speak. This North Node connection just has really activated it, opened that door and started to kind of, yeah, you could say Pandora's box is breaking apart. I guess that's one way I have thought about it. Anyway, I leave it at this, and yes, be in that place of changing your direction in some way necessary. There's certainly something in your life which needs to be readjusted to a higher direction, more in tune with the greater of reality. We all have little things we can improve upon still, and this is the moment. This is when the fuel, when the energy is available, and when the cosmic energies are lined up in a way which allow for that to happen easily. Well, one more time, I want to show you the greater geometry here. This Mars-Saturn, Mars-Neptune opposition is embedded in. You see it is between Uranus and Sedna here on this side, which is all about breaking the vaults open and releasing information, and Pluto on the other side, which is speeding up the turmoil in a way in society. Also the whole theme of artificial intelligence and chat GPT and all that's very Plutonic in Aquarius. So there's a great dynamic already here with these with this beautiful configuration. Then yes, I mentioned the node and Nessus here. This has been big. Then Jupiter, right, I haven't mentioned that one yet. Actually, I want to do really a special recording on this. Jupiter right on the Sun of the Declaration of Independence chart. So despite of what kind of difficult themes and outlooks there are presented right now to the public in general, this is an expansive and beneficial time. That's really the best word I can use for Jupiter. It's the great benefice, bringing luck, bringing expansion, bringing wealth and riches, abundance, you call it, and Venus here too. So they're both really here on the Sun's position, giving an enormous uplift, optimism in a general and profound and big way. It's an emotional sign after all, Cancer. Very much also connected to tradition, to our ancestors. It's the roots of the tree are in Cancer. Anyway, you get the gist of it. This is an exceptional time we're living in, and let's celebrate, even though it might be a little difficult to get from A to B. It's absolutely worth it. Again, love you all. Thank you for being here, and see you soon.